The following program is rated D for dumb.
Thank you, Harry. Yes, this program, this episode, this podcast is rated D for dumb. Welcome to Dumbing It Down with Dave. I am your dumb host, Dave Canyon, your one and only solo dumb host. Welcome to the Dumbcast, subtitled Pragmatism, Truth, Happiness, and the Search for It All. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. However you found it, I'm glad you're here. It is April 28th in the morning. That's not exactly how you say it, but I'm going to say it. It's April 28th in the morning. It's 4:40 a.m., and it is Wednesday morning, and I am on my way home from my first night back after a day and a half off. I did a little overtime. It was supposed to be a short, easy night. Next thing you know, I'm doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this. Bing, bang, boom. 14 hours later, I'm finally in the car going home. And that's okay, but I need the money. There's just no, I'm a slave to the dollar. I'm a slave to the dollar. And the weather's nice. It's actually dark outside right now, as you can imagine, at 4:40 a.m. I'm just leaving where I work in a city outside of Albany, New York. I'm headed to the New York State Thruway, and this will turn from a dumbcast in a car cast in a podcast, and it'll turn into a fast cast, because it'll be the fastest podcast on earth when I hit speeds of 65 miles an hour, and I don't know, question mark, possibly more. There you go. I'm starting to talk like I'm texting all the time. Question mark, exclamation point, comma, period. Anyway, so do you find yourself doing that sometimes? Do you find yourself talking like you're texting? Well, you know, because you think you're talking to a phone, then you catch yourself and you go, wait a minute, I'm just talking. But I have a feeling there's going to be a lot more of that. You're going to see a lot more of that. Period, comma, exclamation point, whatever. I don't even know what else the phone will pick up if you tell it to do it. I'm not up on the old voice text. So anyway, folks, so welcome to the Dumbcast. My name is Dave Canyon, and it is dark. It's 4:40 a.m., and that's the weather report. Let's do a quick mileage report. Let's just get that out of the way. This 2008 Kia Rio LX is at 295,350 miles. Yeah! Come on! Celebrate that, Kia! Come on! That's a lot of miles. It's a 12, almost 13-year-old car. Well, I think it is 13. Right. Wow. Yeah, 13. I got this at 50,000 miles. I don't remember when I bought it. I might have bought it in 2010. I don't remember. That's how long ago I bought this car. Anyway. So I hope you enjoyed the last episode that I did. A lot of you have commented. A lot of you listened, and I appreciate it. I kind of feel like it was supposed to be a 3-part series. Maybe this is going to be the third and final part, but the previous episode to this was called Everyone is Entitled to Their Ignorance, Part Dumb. Pretty clever, huh? You've never, ever, come on, folks. There's 1.8 million, I think I raise the number every time. There's 1.8 million podcasts in the world. Not all of them are active, but nobody ever calls their show Part Dumb. They go Part 2. And I've always done Part 2. And I'm always going to do Part 2. But we've already, that was like an airplane or one of those comedy movies, Part 2. So I said, you know what? Part Dumb. I don't know. It just came to me. I was inspired. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed Everyone is Entitled to Their Ignorance, Part Dumb. And before that was Everyone is Entitled to Their Ignorance. Yeah. I was upset. I'm still upset about what happened. I'm on Fire was episode 295, where I talk about being on fire. My tail trailer, my job was on fire. April Fool's Day, it was episode 294. Where's My Mail? That was an interesting one. Follow the Yellow Brick Road, episode 293. Simple Listeners' Comments, episode 292. What do you wear for a revolution? 291. And episode 290, First Night, No Jacket. I'll be damned if I know what any of these episodes were about, except for the last two. So let's continue on. This is not going to be part 3, but let's talk about something here. Because there's been a lot of this defund the police talk. No, it's not going to be a political show. It's not going to be a political show. I always try, and I like to, know that you guys definitely see this or hear this or sense this, that when I do a show, I bring in the human factor. I don't care about, is it a Republican thing, is it a liberal thing, a Democratic thing, is it a black thing, a white thing? It's, as far as I'm concerned, 99% of the time, it's a human thing. It's a human thing. And that's why I was so upset. Well, it's one of the reasons why I was so upset with this podcaster who wouldn't give me the time of day. And I thought we were friends. And I got to tell you, that on the most human level, as I'm reading his responses, I'm getting more and more demoralized. Yes, I know somebody died. I get it. I get it. There's a bigger issue here. I get it. I understand. Police, people dying, unarmed. I get all that. I understand. Wait a minute, can you hear that thing? I got like a drink with a mixer in there. Can you hear that buzzing around? That's annoying. So, I get all that. It's not about me. But this was a friend, or somebody who I thought was a friend. And I asked a question. I asked a simple question to another person, not even to him, to another person who said something. And I said, well, what does that look like? And one of the reasons why I asked that, other than the fact that I don't really know what it looks like, what this person was saying. You'll have to go to that episode to find out what I was talking about. I'm not going to rehash the whole thing. In the episode called Everyone is Entitled to Their Opinion, Everyone's Entitled to Their Ignorance, part dumb. But what does that look like when you say, oh, people got blah, blah, blah? Okay, well, what does that look like to you? And I asked it because I really didn't know. I don't know what that looks like to you. To you, I don't know what it looks like. So it was a simple question. And then it was shot down as silly. And then I was shot down as, I don't think anybody called me a racist in this thread, but basically it was like, sit down and shut up. You don't know what you know, you don't know, you know. Whatever that guy said. Trying to be funny, maybe? I have no idea. Maybe it's not your lane. I'm like, wow. Well, why are you spending so much time arguing with me when you could have spent the same amount of time and energy explaining it? Which, by the way, leads me to this point, which is not the show I was going to do. I'm going to get to that show. But I do feel like in this United States, I can't speak for the other countries, we kind of mosey along. In my mind, this is what it looks like. So when you say, Dave, what does it look like? I can tell you what it looks like. I'm not addressing the question I asked. I'm addressing something else now. What does it look like in the United States? Well, I'll tell you what it looks like to me. Mosey along, nothing wrong, nothing to see here. We're watching The Bachelor, we're watching The Bachelorette, we're watching the Kardashians, we're watching reality TV. These people are on an island, they're having sex. These people are naked on an island. These guys are following Bear Grylls. These people are in a room on CBS with the Big Brother. Oh, these people are dancing. These people are singing. These other people are singing. These other people have talent. These other people are singing, but they're singing behind a mask, and they're probably a celebrity. I don't know the numbers. I really wish I had a staff. I say that a lot on the show. But ladies and gentlemen, I don't think it's really a reach to say we spend a lot of time and energy watching TV. And we're watching some of the dumbest TV ever. And we're watching good TV too, if there is such a thing. I'm not here to be a TV critic about, oh, did you watch The Wire? Wow, that's the greatest show ever. What do you watch, Dave? Whatever. I just remember everybody was talking about The Wire like it was the greatest thing ever. Did you watch Breaking Bad? You watch Thrones? Yeah, whatever. No, I don't. I don't watch any of those. I think the only thing I ever watched was Breaking Bad. And I was ready to die, to bail on it, but I really related to that guy. So that's neither here or there. But the thing is, we spend a lot of energy watching TV. We spend a lot of energy doing a lot of things. Watching sports, football. Oh my God. Baseball. It's just like, and basketball, all the golf, NASCAR. Well, how many man and woman hours do you think we spend watching TV? And before the COVID, how many hours did we spend going to the movies? You can't see a Marvel movie once, right? Got to see it 5 times. So you're spending money and you're going to, I assume you're spending money. You're eating poorly because I assume you're eating at the theater. And you're watching these movies. You're spending a lot of energy. So my impression is there's a lot of time wasted in this country. A lot. I bet you if I had a staff or one smart kid and we did the math and I gave you the number, you go, holy cow, Dave. That's more hours than you have miles on your Kia. We thought you had a lot of miles on your Kia. You're almost at 300,000 miles. You're 5,000 miles away from 300. By the way, anybody want to take a guess what episode I cross over into 300,000? Take a guess. I don't know. I have no idea. 500 miles a week, let's just say. If I keep on driving this, 500 miles a week, basically. So another homework assignment most of you guys won't even worry about doing. Give it a thought. Take a guess. Sometime between now and probably December 31st of 2021, my guess is I'll go over 300,000 miles. But really, what do you think the number is for the amount of hours we waste? We do nothing. I don't think we do anything, really. Not socially, as far as advancing the cause, whatever cause it may be. One kid gets shot. One guy gets shot. One black person gets shot by a cop. Unarmed. Dies. Gets hurt. Whatever. Boom. We're in the streets. Boom. We're protesting. We're rioting. Boom. We're yelling. Boom. We're posting on Facebook. I go, well, you know what? I can't say I relate to the situation the same as them, but you know what? Hesitantly, I'm going to join the thread. Because somebody said something about white allies. Well, I'm white. I'm an ally. Okay, I'll bite. We have to stand up, whatever she said. You have to stand up. You have to speak. You're our white allies. Okay. Well, just tell me what that looks like. Do I speak to white people? Because I do already. Do I speak to black people? Yeah, when I get a chance, I do. I honestly don't see a lot of black people in my life. Right now, I see one. One that I talk to at my job. The other guys, they're new. I don't know who they are. But I'm always nice to everybody at my job. I don't care if they're black or white. By the way, 8 years I've at this job. That's all we've ever had. Is the majority of white, and the occasional there's a black guy that comes in and drives the truck. Never an Asian. Probably an Hispanic or two. I really don't know, but I don't really care because you know what? All I see is the uniform, and all I see is a guy. Can you do it? Can you do the job? Are you going to keep the truck clean? Are you going to fuel it? Are you going to be nice to the customers? Or are you going to ruin? Are you going to lose a client for us? That's all I see. I just want to know: are you going to do the job? And I said this once to a pastor, a black pastor. And he says, oh, you're colorblind. You don't want to see color. I go, wow. Why is it every time I speak up? Because this lady said in this thread, white allies, you have to speak up. But every time I speak up, I get shot down. I made a post about that lady that was running for mayor or something in Baltimore. Remember, she wore that red dress and she was walking real fast, which I kind of thought was funny, in those shoes, too. And she was like, hey, the Democrats won't tell you about this, about Baltimore. They won't show you Baltimore like this. I'm like, wow, that's not a movie set. That's Baltimore. Looks pretty bleak. I wonder why. So all I did was comment. And I can verify this. If anybody asks me, I can go find it. It's somewhere. Could be on Dumbing It Down with Dave. Could be on Dave Canyon. I don't know. All right. I said, you know what? I think I could vote for that woman. If I lived in Baltimore, I could vote for that woman. Oh my God, did hell rain down on me? No, blah, 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 blah. Wow. Okay, well, whatever. She impressed me with that commercial. That commercial went viral. Oh, man. When you speak up in this day and age, get ready to get canceled. Get ready for the bows and arrows, whatever, the flamethrowers. You spoke up, good. Now shut up. Sit down. Know your lane. Know what you know. You know. Anyway. So, not exactly the show.
Is this the episode you wanted to do?
Not exactly, Dave, but thanks for asking. Let me read something to you, because this is something I've been thinking about. Let me read something to you, see if I can find it. I have it queued up. I just don't want to mess up my phone here. The word reform. You know what that means? The word reform, because you hear it a lot. I remember years ago I heard tout reform over and over. I was like, why are we always talking about tout reform? What does that even mean? I've never heard a newscaster explain it. And by the way, I always feel like when I watch the news, they're not talking to me. They're talking to some really highly intelligent people. Like, there must have been some sort of preparation. Well, I don't know how most of you do it, but I guess I missed out on a lot of stuff because and by the way, my wife, who's college educated, we watch sometimes, and I've spoken about this on the show before. We'll watch the 7 o'clock news, which is the national news, and we'll watch local news. And a lot of times, when the news story is in the middle of it or it's over, we look at each other and go, "What in the world is he talking about? What is she talking about? Who's the good guy? Who's the bad guy? What does that even mean? What does any of this segment mean? Not what the relevance is to the world or the relevance to me, because sometimes even that's in question. But what are they talking about? I don't understand one word. It was so confusing. At the end, I go, I have no idea. And we're two adult people. We don't drink, we don't smoke. We're okay. We walk away a lot from the news going, I don't know. But now I'm hearing a lot of, what do you call it, criminal justice reform. And we're hearing about police reform. There's I don't know how many reforms. Oh, election reform, right? Financial reform. All these reforms. So just in case, I want to read out the definition that I have here. Reform. Make changes in, and in parentheses, something typically a social, political, or economic institution or practice, close parentheses, in order to improve it. That's why you hear the word reform a lot. They want to change something in order to improve it. So I'm hearing a lot about police reform and, defund the police and all this other stuff. So before I get into any of that, let me tell you one thing. I'm not going to get into any of that. I don't know anything about what they're talking about reforming. I really don't. I don't know how you're going to reform justice, how you're going to reform the law. I don't know anything about that. My guess is it doesn't need to be reformed. That's just a guess. That's all I'm saying. Here's what I think we need to reform. And by the way, once again, 1.8 million podcasts in the world. I bet you've never heard anybody say this, what I'm about to say. And it doesn't make me a genius. Just makes me, I don't know, sometimes I'm able to think of things clearly. I have clarity. I'm a truck driver. I look out the window and I hear the news all the time. I listen to talk shows all the time. I listen to podcasts all the time. I get yelled at by former friends who are podcasters every so often. Tell me to sit down and shut up. Know my lane. You know. Whatever you don't know. Ugh. Let me ask you a question. How come we've never tried human reform? Yeah, human reform. Why don't we try that? Why don't we try to change humans in order to make us better? Well, how do you do that? Well, Dave, what does that look like? That's a good question. I don't know if I know the answer to that. But it would be nice if there were more humans that were pragmatic. Maybe we could teach some pragmatism in schools. Maybe the government could be a little bit more pragmatic. Maybe the government could be a little bit more friendly to each other. Maybe they could lead by example as opposed to the way they lead now, by constantly fighting, not just on the national level, but on the local level, the state level. Always with the fighting. That's a good reform to start. Why don't you start with that reform? The compromise reform. How to listen to people on the other side of the aisle and acknowledge their existence in a polite, respectful way. Don't use terms like libtards. Don't use terms like right-wing wacko. I'm not saying that government officials use these terms, but say, oh, my respected colleague, so-and-so, Democratic, Republican, Democratic governor, whatever. We had lunch today, and we had a nice talk, and we talked about, crime in our state, our city. But no, it's like, those people over there, they're terrible, they're dumb, they're horrible. You know what they want you to do? They want you to do nothing. They want your money. They want power. They want, oh, God. So that gets me back to the beginning of the show. How much time and energy do you think is spent? I asked earlier about people doing nothing, watching Bachelor, Bachelorette, and then talking about it like it's important. Did he give her the rose? Did he give her a rose? What did he do with who got the rose? Oh, who's that? Carrie Ann Arbor dancing? Was Julia Huff dancing? Dave, for someone who doesn't watch this stuff, yeah, I know. I pick it up. I know what I've seen. I know names. What do you want me to do? How much time and energy do you think the United States government, local, national, and federal, how much time do you think, local, state, and national, whatever, federal, how much time do you think they spend not getting something done, but putting up a defense or an offense? It's ridiculous. It's a lot of time spent. How about a little bit of reform? How about the people create our own little watch? I don't know. I know it already exists, but I don't want to say watchdog group. But hey guys, McConnell, Pelosi, Schumer, why don't you reform yourself? Because you're making a mess of things. All of you. Every one of you. I'm 57 years old. I got to tell you, I don't think I know one politician that ever really was like, yeah, we're gonna work together. I mean, I'm not going to be afraid to say it. I think Trump tried to do that. I think he really tried. And you know what? To a certain extent, I think Obama might have tried. Maybe. I wasn't really that politically alert back then. I think Reagan somehow might have done it. Did Clinton do it? Maybe. I don't really know. I'm not political. I'm trying not to make this a political conversation. But we talk about reform as if it ever works. And here's my problem with reform. Whether it's criminal justice reform, defunding the police, or whatever it is these reforms you're doing. Let's just talk about the police for now. You could change policing. You could change everything you want. But if you don't do human reform, here's what's going to happen. And if you disagree with me, please, if you vehemently disagree with me, please post your comments in the Spreaker chat box. Or if you don't want to type because you're so angry, feel free to leave a voicemail, 347-746-3862. 347-746-3862. That number is also 3477-I-AM-DUMB. The letter I, the letter M, dumb. And leave a voicemail. If you can, 60 seconds or less. And keep it clean. If you don't keep it clean, it ain't going to make it to the air. And if it's a good call, maybe I'll play it. No guarantees anything gets played. But do you realize if you change, whatever you change, if you don't do human reform, and by the way, I don't know how you would officially do human reform, but we do need to change as human beings. And I think that starts from the president on down. Then you're going to be hiring from the same work pool, the same talent pool. You could change policing all you want, but you're still going to be hiring from the same talent pool. And you could change policing all you want, but what about all those alleged criminals? Or everybody who's alleged? Everybody who gets, shot, unarmed and all that. They're still the same people. Still driving around with cars that have a warrant out for its arrest on the owner. I think was that lady in St. Louis or something? The same people who, after they die, their parents go to the funeral and go, he was the shining light. He lit up the room as soon as he walked in. He would give his shirt off the back. I mean, every amazingly positive thing you could say about your child is said at these funerals. And all I can think of is, if your child was that great, why did he run from the cops? Your hands on the car, your hands are behind your back. They're about to put the cuffs on you. They're going to put you in the back of the patrol car, and it's all said and done. Then everything else, you live. You live. I don't know if you're guilty or not, or of whatever, but you live. You run for the cops, whether you get tased or shot, that's in response, getting shot is in response to running and getting into a car and trying to drive away. So you could do all the police reform you want. My argument in here, because I don't know what I know, and I don't know my lane, I got to sit down and take a seat, whatever. But I don't hear anybody saying, yeah, you know what, we probably should reform humans. Because, you can change the rules of policing all you want. You're just hiring from the same talent pool. And by the way, that talent pool is going to get real small real soon. And you're probably going to get a lot of less talented people. And if we don't reform humans, and we don't reform the education system, and we don't reform our diets and all that other stuff, the way we eat, the way we watch TV, the way we live, the consciousness of this country, you're going to have the same alleged criminals. The same people trying to attack other women with attacking other women with knives. People beating up their exes, baby mamas, baby daddies, whatever, all that craziness. You got to change the human. I'm not talking about controlling the human. I'm saying somehow we got to look back and go, you know what, 2021, go back to 1970. How are we doing? I'm not doing too good in the last 50 years. And watch the movie Idiocracy with one of the Wilson brothers, Luke. Watch, maybe not the whole thing, but watch like the first hour or two. First hour and whatever it is. That's pretty revealing. I'm pretty sure that's where we're going. To a real idiocracy life. Where the law enforcement is dumb, the people are dumb, firefighters, doctors, lawyers, politicians, everybody really on the low end of the intelligence spectrum. If you don't do human reform, all the other reforms are a waste of time. Don't forget, you can call the show at 3477-I-AM-DUMB, 347-746-3862, and I'm on Twitter. I'm everywhere.
If you are enjoying these shows, please like and subscribe. Also, share them with your social media. Feel free to comment in the Spreaker chat box or call the Dumbline at 347-746-3862. Please keep your messages to 60 seconds or less and keep them clean, no profanity. Keep listening and engage. Do it because I ask you to. This is the Raven out.
And this is Dave out.